Hello everybody and welcome to the Infernal Sky II for the last time. As you can see, the victory monument is complete again, yay me. Another map successfully completed, and this is going to be the sort of post-mortem of the map. I look back on some of the things that we've done and our achievements. So as you can see, all the walls and ore blocks are here collectively together. So we are ready to do our post-mortem. So my original thoughts of this map were, well, my overall thoughts, should I say, of this map are that this place is, well, this map rather is very easy. This is not hard at all. I think anybody could complete this map. It's very, very reasonable as it stands at the moment. So obviously we're spawned in here. There's where all the rules and everything are, and oh wow, my wheat actually grew. The biggest problem in this map was the food situation at the start. Until you got lucky really with a zombie drop, or you managed to get some bones together, which I thankfully did from 5 monsters in these few areas, you were always going to be struggling for food. However, there is a wool chest right there, so in a way it compensates for that, because you can get wool out there and craft up a bed pretty quickly. So you're not going to be in too much trouble if you follow that. Now I went over here first. This dungeon was a bit bizarre in a sense because it actually had no real monsters associated with it from what I last remember. Oh, there was a spider spawner here. I don't remember that. Was that it? Was that... There's obviously some more monsters in a cave down here or something. Another spider spawner. But honestly, in this area was not difficult. If anything, the spawners were disabled because of daylight anyway. So you were okay. Obviously there was a chest with some good things in here and some wool. And you could just go virtually straight away and jump in and you would have been fine. You would have got the wool. I crafted myself a bed pretty much straight away. Was this where the cave was? Somewhere around here? Yeah, something like that. And there was a few bits and pieces here. This obviously fell out. This was probably the most dangerous bit when things began to fall down. I didn't panic though. I was pretty happy with that, and we climbed back over here. Yeah, this was a great little starting area. Would prove a challenge if you were unfamiliar with how Minecraft actually worked, but if you are, then it wouldn't pose much of a problem. So obviously from there, I think still on the first day, I'm not sure if it was the first or second day, I came over here and there was an enchanter on here, and there were some seeds down here, I believe, and by that point I had collected up some bones. So obviously I could come in here. Still a creeper down here. Obviously there's some sort of spawner. Oh wow, I didn't even know that. There was an iron sword back here. That surprises me. Was there actually a spawner in here? Or is it just that I couldn't see it? Or there was just a creeper randomly spawned in here because it's too dark. I think it was because there was a creeper in here because it was too dark, but... Yeah, this area was definitely reasonable. There was no way anyone would struggle with that area. Unless you were really down to low hearts and you had no armour at all, then you might struggle. In a way, I suppose, but it was more than reasonable for me to do. And there was an enchanter on the top. Perfect. Early access to enchanting. Kind of made up for the fact that we didn't have any food or anything. We could combat that with some powerful armour, because I think there was leather given out by this point. So that made it just a little easier. I always love to see that. So yeah. After that, we went and did the next wool, which was it over here? There was many caves and things here you could have explored that I never did. For whatever reason, I just never needed really to kind of find any reason to explore them. There was virtually nothing in them anyway. So I went and found the orange wool. I can't remember exactly where that was, if anything. Was it over by this side of the island? Oh, I know where it was. Yeah, it was over here, wasn't it? Or was this magenta over here? How about that? There's something buried in the sand and I didn't even see it. Enchanted leather armor. Okay, so you would have had leather armor anyway, if you came over here. Now I think this wool was magenta. I can't find the orange wool right now. I'm not sure if this is orange or magenta. So if I head in here, this area, again, not at all challenging. So yeah, this was magenta. There were 2 spawners here, but that was it. And because of the slabs, you were pretty safe from them anyway. So yeah, more than reasonable area. I think anybody, that is not really any harder than what a normal Minecraft dungeon would be. Just an extra spawner. So if you had 2 dungeons next to each other, that would effectively be the same. I know one was spawning, was it? Yeah, it was zombie and spider, wasn't it? So it's only the same as a zombie and spider dungeon being next to each other. That was in no way, shape or form realistically unfair. Man, I wish I could find out where that orange wool was. But yeah, the orange wool I don't remember being challenging either. I thought that was also very fair. I think I didn't run into virtually any monsters at all while I was there. Or maybe I got the orange wool later. Did I get it from the first intersection? I can't remember if I did or not. But yeah, more than fair. And then obviously we moved on to intersection 1. We left this area, which was its own area. This was the classic sky. We obviously found the victory monument and got set up there. But we then found intersection 1, which took a fair bit of bridging to. I think that was the one drawback with this map, was the amount of bridging involved. But I do respect the fact that at this time the map was built, things like command blocks didn't exist. So, you know, if this map was being remade, maybe Infernal Sky 3 at some point, potentially that may be added in so you can teleport around. Because that would kind of suit this map. I think it would complement it very well, but obviously there was a large amount of bridging involved in this map, but I don't mind that. It provided a nice change from slaughtering mobs 24/7. So yeah, we came over here, intersection 1, the Sky Garden. There was a little mini trap right here, where sand caved in. Or maybe that was not an intentional trap, I can't remember much, if it was or not. I do remember that you obviously had to wander around here, and I don't think I ever came back here. This was the area where you could farm everything you wanted to, but I don't think I've ever been back here since we actually did come here. And obviously you wandered through here. I think this was the orange wool actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, it was around here, wasn't it? Okay, yeah, this was the orange wool. Yeah, this area was, I think it was something like 2 naturally spawned creepers in it. This area is more than fair. There's not even any spawners in here, I don't think. More than reasonable for any Minecraft player. It was the terrain that perhaps might have got you. Not recommended if you're playing on a laptop, certainly. It could prove to be quite difficult. But this area, yeah, bar the odd monster that maybe have naturally spawned in here, which there wasn't that many because of the amount of actual spawning space available, you would not have any problems. And then we came down here, didn't we? I came down using a sand pillar. And I still experiencing potions around. This must have been a potions medium or a potions high, I would have thought. Because this area was not necessarily difficult. It was because of the way the mobs were compiled, and they kind of bunched due to the fact of the spawnable areas. It ended up where this area became very challenging, and I could not get, with the gear I had, to the potions box. But in here I believe was the purple wool, yep. And the purple wool was very easy to get. All you had to do was essentially go straight down. You could have even as well, if this island had been conjurable, you could have actually just missed that out totally and just gone and bridged straight up from here. And I think if you got the angle right and the trajectory right, you could actually get an ender pearl down here. That might, yeah, you could get an ender pearl down there, straight in there and in. And then obviously you could have bridged back out upwards. So, you know, there's techniques available. But yeah, that area was not realistically challenging. For me as a Minecraft player it wasn't anyway. I know for some Minecraft players it might have been quite challenging because they are unfamiliar with super hostile maps. That's why I would recommend this one as the first one that you would do. But yeah, I enjoyed this map a lot, don't get me wrong. This was really enjoyable. So yeah, then we came here. And this was the first really challenging area that we did. This area was quite fun actually to do. Again, a fair bit of bridging involved here as well. I think this was one of the biggest pieces of bridging I ever did. One of the largest types of bridging. I'll never forget that. The bunker. And obviously you had to come here, and did I break down in here? Yeah, and there's still stuff left from in here as well, isn't there? Slabs and all sorts. What was in here? Light blue. Yeah, this area was not challenging either, particularly. Armoured skeleton. Yeah, this area I did not actually explore very well, or at all. In fact, I just kind of went for the wall. I was trying to light it up. Look, actually, looking back on it, I was actually meant to do this, wasn't I? I was meant to use the light from the sun, and I never opened this. Why don't we just something I want to try for a minute? If I took a strength potion, would that kill things in one hit? No, it still killed them in 2. It would in 1 if you could let them burn. Yeah, you could in 1 if you let them burn and jumped and you criticaled them. But yeah, this area I can't really comment a whole lot on. There was gold blocks here, so if you went somewhere else to get iron first, you would have had that ability. Oh dear. Well, one thing I did want to find out is how far this stretched back in terms of actual armada ships. Alright, so it came back to here. So there was nothing you really would miss by coming back here particularly. I do like these ships though. These were very well designed. I like these ships a lot. Yeah, I like this place. It was a nice place actually, and I really like doing this area. It was fun to see something different, and this area of this map provided that, something a bit different instead of all being the same 24/7. And that's what I quite liked about this area, certainly. But yeah, this area was conjured relatively quickly. I think I didn't spend longer than an episode here. But yeah, fun times to be had here. Anybody who's a fan of any sort of airship place will love this. Oh, look at that. Slime into oblivion. There should be like a scream for when that happens. I should have added those into my videos. That's the slime doing the Wilhelm scream. That would have been cool. This map actually would have been perfect for the Wilhelm scream. It would have been actually perfect for the Wilhelm scream. That I wish I could add that in. Actually, why don't we just knock a few mobs off and add them in now, just for the fun of it. Yeah, Wilhelm scream moment. It's funniest on the skeletons, I think, more than anyone else. Wow, one actually landed on there. So we've got some Wilhelm scream moments. So yeah, when we came from here, we next did Intersection 2. Intersection 2 was a lot different from Intersection 1. I'm sorry, I'll stop now. But I'll continue to beat up the mobs, but you know, it was Intersection 2 was quite a bit different. Knock him off. But yeah, let's see. Intersection 2 was over here, wasn't it? This area was, some of these areas in here were balked just a little because of the updates that have gone on with Minecraft. So in a way, it wasn't exactly fair. The Undersky area was definitely not very fair. This area, man, I remember this area where we got the level 4 battle sign. Man, this area was so crowded. Oh, did I already have the battle sign? Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Because I went underneath first, but this area had the level 3, and this was mentally crowded. It was hugely crowded. There was like 200 monsters in here. Anything down here of value? Anything I miss? Chest with some goodies in, but honestly, this area was interesting because it's the only area I've ever seen in a Vechs map that houses 3 walls. And obviously the first one we got was from here on the roof. And I tried to play this area properly by actually going through the building rather than just randomly climbing up through it. I just wanted to try something. Yeah, the biomes have been changed in this map actually. It used to be a snow biome and used to break it, but that's been fixed, so that's good to know. This area, well, this was yellow, that was right. This area was... It was easy because I came in the day and there was no monsters. Nothing had spawned. So maybe this area was something that should have been done in the night time. I honestly don't know. And then I came down here. He's got a bone. Why do you have a bone, sir? Oh, it must have been because of the fact that the fresh things to spawn were still here. Oh wow, there was a spawner here. I never saw the spawner. Then we did this wall, and this one was the lime. I kind of ran in here because it was in the day and everything was well lit, so there was no monsters spawning. And the last place we did was the city vaults, which was over here, and I climbed over here and went down. None of these areas were particularly challenging in any way at all. They were very reasonable to do. Some of them had no monsters for some reason. This was the last one we did. The grey wool for this area anyway, and this was plenty fair. I never saw what was in here. What was in here? Oh, just 16 torches. Yeah, let me out of the door. Again, yeah, not very sort of challenging. I think there was a couple of monsters in there, but there wasn't too bad. I think that kind of sums this map up nicely. It's not a very challenging map, but at the same time it is enjoyable, and that's what's important. The fact that this area is enjoyable, and this map I have really enjoyed. I've thoroughly enjoyed this map. Vechs did a great job in creating it, and it's a good one if you're unfamiliar with the series, as I've said, to help you kind of get started a little with the super hostile maps. It doesn't take very long to complete. I've done it very quickly, a couple of episodes, and I've kind of done it, so it's very reasonable, and I think that many people would enjoy this map. This area, the shredded sky, I think I just kind of went straight through. What is that skeleton doing? Is that the way they actually naturally walk when they're not aggroed at you? They walk in that sideways position. But yeah, this area again, I used my own knowledge to outwit this place. But, well, at least the second dungeon of it, slimes here. This map certainly didn't need a reliancy of diamond armour. I did mine in entirely iron armour, so I was okay, but and that was a hardcore LP. This area we just kind of stumbled into it, if anything. But yeah, I enjoyed it. There was diamonds here. You could come here effectively straight away with some bridging materials and grab diamonds if you wanted to. I didn't know there were diamonds here, and I played the map fairly, well, what I think was fairly anyway, to get the best experience out of it. But yeah, again, this dungeon, I actually used my intelligence and knowledge of Vechs maps to outwit this area of the map. Now, I believe you could have gone straight to the top, and there was actually stuff up here. Feather boots, there was a feather boot set up here, and a bunch of stuff going on. And you actually could have gone effectively from here, in this corner, straight down, onto the roof, into the wool. But I didn't, I climbed it all the way up. This area was quite compact, full of monsters, but I cleared it out relatively easily, as I had this battle sign. And you can just bonk things all day with this, and be pretty well safe. So that was okay. But yeah, I used my own knowledge to outwit that area. So that was not bad at all to do. And obviously that area was relatively easy. You just need sand. The key things for this map really were sand and cobble. That's what you really needed for this map, no matter where you were, sand or cobble. I'm not going to head down into the last area before the nether, or the nether, because I will get lost in that endless mass of things down there. Because there's a hell of a lot of stuff in there. And that area is not very clear where you're going to be going, so I'm not going to get lost in there and not be able to get out. But The undersky was broken. It was made of bedrock. Some people argue it should have been made of obsidian to spawn monsters in. I left it as it was because I felt that that was the way the map was meant to be played. And obviously this area was broken with the 1.2 patch. I'll go into the entrance, but yeah, this area was broken with the 1.2 patch, I think it was, when the new world height limit was added. And it kind of ruined the whole sort of area here because of that fact. It broke it. Oh wow, actually it is clear here. You got a clear run at it, and it was a clear run through here. I could just walk in and grab the wall casually, as and when I felt like it. So that made this area perhaps a little too easy. It was meant to be a lot harder than what it actually was. But that was okay. I enjoyed this area. There was still challenging bits after all. You couldn't see, and there was void down here, so that was still kept it relatively challenging, and you were still kept on your toes. Obviously you could have come straight up here, but obviously it was bedrock, so you couldn't break through it, but there we go. But yeah, and what was in this? Blue. This is where I got the battle sign level 4. Yeah, that was where I got this. So that was okay. Obviously the last place is the nether. Oh yeah, there's something back here I never checked out. What was that? Flint and steel times 10. I could not find my way around in here very clearly. And I went through the portal, and obviously the last area was the nether. This area, you have to burn the wood. I didn't realise that what this area was at first, but in fact it's just a trolley area, if anything. There's no TNT in this. I thought it was TNT, and obviously you would set it alight and blow it up, but that's alright. And we got the brown wool out. This was a very easy area, partially because it was just one of those trolley areas Vechs loves to incorporate into his maps. But yeah, then we moved on to doing the creepy creeper castle. And this area, again, if you rushed in the correct way, you could do this very easily. In fact, I didn't even rush, I just ran through it. Here was the TNT, by the way, and the creeper legs from when I was mining out. And you had to go up here first. There was the blaze spawner. I wonder where that was. There was bits of loot, but by this point I was well aware. I had enough of what I needed for the map, so I was well okay with that. And obviously red wool, it was easy if you climbed it. Obviously the creeper spawners are in there. All you had to do was essentially just build it up. I got that hint from that down there, the crafting table. I believe it was actually, now thinking about it, to make ladders. You were meant to make ladders to go up the back of the castle and up here. But yeah, not challenging at all. If you kept on your toes and used the battle sign effectively, you would not come under any grief. Not at all. Yeah, perfect really. There's not a lot more you can say about this area. Plenty fair for everybody. Yeah, so even this area, as I say, was not that challenging. And obviously in here was the black wool. Again, I sort of effectively speed ran this area. But that was okay. I think speed running this area would have been very easy if you're a speed runner. I think the map in general is not made for speed running, but this area was. You could just effectively run straight up the stairs and you were away essentially. But yeah, I didn't realise all of these things came filled with TNT. The whole thing in here had TNT in it. So I believe there was originally in the original map a spawner in here, which caused this to react. And obviously there was creepers up here that spawned, but you never got that high, so it wasn't too much of an issue. But yeah, this area in general was not that hard. It was more than reasonable for any new player. They would be able to conjure that. That is kind of the thing that you would expect in some of Vechs's other maps to be around, sort of maybe the orange, magenta wool. So that's perfectly reasonable. If you're new to the Super Hostile series, that is a great dungeon to work out in and test your skills. This dungeon was the only hard dungeon in the entire map, and I mean seriously hard. And this area was hard because, if anything, this gravel was very unstable with gas around, and I can imagine what it was like in older patches when gas used to spawn like crazy. This area was not very fair, because if you kind of blew it up, you had to get what you needed via cobble. Obviously that's what I did with this area. I got it via cobblestone and building, and I didn't want to distract all the players and make you get bored by mindlessly viewing just me bridging, so I cut that out. But honestly, it was quite easy. Well, it wasn't easy, that was not the word I would use, but it was the hardest bit of this map, and it wasn't overly challenging because of the way I did it. If you were to do it normally and you were to try and do this, it would be near impossible on hardcore due to the amount of spawns you would get of ghasts. I guess on something like normal difficulty or maybe hard you would be okay, because when one bit collapsed, large portions of it collapsed. Let me show you, for example. You see this? Large portions of this begin to fall apart, so... Oh wow, I didn't even see this, but yeah, this is the issue that kind of happens with this. And that's the problem you kind of face, is with this area. I just simply didn't want to risk it. So that's why I avoided this at all costs, and I just built a bridge. Perhaps maybe the chicken way of doing it, but I don't think so. I wanted to just complete the map. So there's potions, there was wildfire, there was rockbane, and there was combat supplies. Honestly, you would not need those for this area. There was no reason to have them unless you had not already collected diamonds for the diamond block. There was no reason to have them at all. So that was okay. With my arrows that I accidentally dropped. But yeah, not really. The way I did it, it wasn't really that challenging. But if a ghast shot you, you could be in a difficult situation, that's for sure. But yeah, more than reasonable for an area. Again, this is kind of the midway dungeon you would find. If you were to play a Vechs map, like one of the harder ones, you would expect this kind of dungeon, this one, around... You just spawned, didn't you? I would say around perhaps sort of like the cyan wool, around there you would find something like this. I don't think Vechs has built a map over the void since, like with the whole area over the void. There's been parts of maps over the void, but there's not been whole areas over the void. So this was quite a unique map area. Vechs doesn't like to use the void too much. I don't think he likes the fact of what it does. Oh wow, it doesn't affect block physics. Interesting. But yeah, again, just another pretty cool area, I would say. Something new that I've not seen, and quite original at the same time, using what we already have in a good way. So yeah, that's just about it. My general rating of this map is very good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it quite a lot more than I originally thought I might, to be honest. I was expecting I was going to keep falling out of the world and I wouldn't like it and I would probably give up, or it was just going to be all bridging and quite boring, but it wasn't, and that's what I enjoyed about it. It incorporated many aspects in this map and I quite liked it. I liked the fact that it was a short map to complete. I don't know whether it was intended that way, but it was a short, enjoyable map to complete. And it was a lot of fun, and it's quite easy, and it does really complement a harder series, if you're an LPer. I mean, this is the kind of map that you do when you kind of want to break, and you want to relax. This is what I would do anyway. Map like this, when you want to relax, and you want a nice, easy challenge, so to speak, where you're not going to be bombarded with monsters 24/7, that this is the map for you, definitely. It was very well designed and very well put together by Vechs. I enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure many other people have too. So great job, Vechs. If you watch this, man, keep up the great maps. I've enjoyed all 3 of mine that I've completed so far, those being the Sea of Flame, Sunburn Islands, and now Infernal Sky II. Next up, I don't know what's going to be next up in the Super Hostile. I may potentially return to Waking Up, or I may do another one. I don't know in terms of CTM maps what's going to be next. I I've always wanted to do a Spellbound Caves Let's Play, but honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do that one just yet. But that would definitely be in the pipeline over sort of the next year or so. It will come in there somewhere. It will be around Spellbound Caves, because that one always looked like a great map for me to do. But I don't know yet. I might finish Waking Up. I may return to that. I took a long-term break from it, if you're unaware, because it wasn't making me feel too good. But I may well return to that now. Now I've finished my other maps. I might take that one on just solo on its own, or with some smaller maps at the same time, which is still what I said I was going to do. I was going to make 2 smaller maps. So that's potentially what we're going to be doing from now on. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this series, everyone. I know it's been relatively short, even for a Super Hostile, but been enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to see you in the next Super Hostile map, even though it's unknown what it is yet. But until then, guys, see you later, and have that wonderful day.